Hello friends, welcome to Anu's Food Cart. Christmas is round the corner and I thought I'll get something special for you which you can make for your Christmas party, and here I am with my special recipe, Hyderabadi chicken dum biryani. Making biryani is not a difficult task, but getting it perfect is slightly tricky, so I have divided my recipe into 5 easy steps. I'll walk you through every step and will help you with tips and tricks which I follow to get perfect biryani each time. So let's move on to the first step, which is making the Biryani Masala. I have taken 2 inches of cinnamon stick, 3 cloves, 6 green cardamom, 3 bay leaves, 3 star anise, black peppercorn half a teaspoon, mace 2, stone flour or dagat fool 1 teaspoon, a teaspoon of caraway seeds or shahi jeera. Now we'll grind all of this into a slightly coarse powder. Can you see I have ground it into a slightly coarse powder? I always prefer to make my biryani masala fresh so that the flavors stay intact. But you can make it in large quantities and store them in airtight containers or Ziploc bag and place it in the refrigerator. Now we'll move on to step 2, that is marinating the chicken. I always do this step the night before I make biryani. For example, if I had planned to make the biryani tomorrow morning, today night I'll get the chicken and I'll do the marination and place it in the refrigerator. So by tomorrow morning, the chicken absorbs all the flavors from the marinade and it will turn tender, juicy and tasty. Here I have 750 grams of chicken cut into large pieces, 3/4 cup of thick yogurt, 1 tablespoon of biryani masala, thinly sliced onions 1 cup, 1/4 cup of oil to deep fry, 1 teaspoon of roasted cumin powder, 2 teaspoons of coriander powder, 1½ tablespoons of ginger garlic paste, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1½ tablespoon of red chili powder. You can replace the red chili powder with Kashmiri chili powder as well. 5 green chilies, cilantro or coriander leaves 4 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons of mint leaves and 1 teaspoon of salt. First, we'll fry the onions. Place a pan on medium flame and add oil to deep fry the onions. Once the oil is hot, we'll add onions in batches and we'll fry them until crispy. Make sure to move them with a spoon in between so that they get evenly colored. Now you can see that they have turned slightly golden. And now it's time to take them off the oil. So I'll pick them with a strainer, drain the excess oil out and keep them aside. I have fried about 1 cup of thinly sliced onions. Now that is for the whole recipe. I'll be using just 3/4 of it for the marination and the rest I'll be using while assembling the biryani. Now add curd to a large bowl. To this curd we'll add lime juice, cilantro or coriander leaves. I have finely chopped them. I have also finely chopped mint leaves and added them, a teaspoon of salt, ginger garlic paste, red chili powder, turmeric powder, coriander powder, cumin powder, biryani masala, green chilies, and 3/4 portion of the fried onions. The rest of it will be used while assembling the biryani. I'll also add 2 tablespoons of oil in which we had fried the onions because the oil is really flavorful. Mix it up so that everything is combined really well, and then we'll add the chicken pieces. I will marinate the chicken with the prepared masala. Once the chicken is marinated, we'll transfer it to an airtight container and refrigerate it for at least 8 to 10 hours so that the chicken not only turns tender but also absorbs all the flavors from the masala. Now we'll move on to the third step. When you buy rice for biryani, try to choose long-grained, flavorful basmati rice because there are several varieties of basmati rice available in the market and not all of them are good for biryani. Biryani requires long-grained rice which has wonderful flavor in it. I have taken 3 cups of long-grain basmati rice, 3 to 4 liters of water, 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 bay leaves, 1-inch piece of cinnamon, 5 cloves, caraway seeds or shahi jeera half a teaspoon, 3 green cardamom pods, 1 teaspoon of oil, half a tablespoon of lime juice, cilantro or coriander leaves 2 tablespoons, 2 teaspoons of mint leaves, 1/4 teaspoon of biryani masala, 1/4 teaspoon of green cardamom powder. This is completely optional. 2 pinches of saffron soaked in 2 tablespoons of hot water, and 1 tablespoon of clarified butter or ghee, 1/4 portion of the fried onions, wash the rice at least 3 to 4 times before soaking and make sure you soak the rice for at least 30 to 40 minutes. I have soaked the rice for half an hour. Take 3 liters of water in a large pan and place it on high flame. To this we'll add 2 tablespoons of salt and all the whole garam masala. Also add a teaspoon of oil. We are going to cook our rice in this water. That is why we have added lots of whole garam masala into it so that the rice absorbs all the flavors from it. Now if our biryani doesn't have the correct amount of salt, all our hard work is gone to waste, right? So make sure you add enough amount of salt so that the water is a bit on the saltier side. Once the water comes to a rolling boil, we'll add the soaked rice. The rice has absorbed water and has become very fragile, so be very careful while handling the rice. Move the rice very slowly this way. Now the rice is 70%. Cooking the rice to perfection for your biryani is one of the trickiest things because rice is a crucial ingredient in your biryani which can ruin the taste, texture and look if not cooked properly. Take a grain of rice and try to break it with your fingers and you will see that it just snips off and you will have to apply a lot of pressure to break it. Can you see this? This is how we know that it is 70% done. At this point, we'll just switch off the flame. Drain about 2/3 of the rice and keep it aside. Now we have 1/3 portion of the rice left in the hot water, so it will cook slowly and we want that rice to be cooked up to 90%. Once we have taken 70% cooked rice, the remaining rice, that is 1/3 portion of the rice, is still in hot water, which means that it's cooking. Allow them to cook for just about 1 or 2 minutes so that they are 90% cooked. How to know if the rice is 90% done or not? Take a rice grain and try to break it with your fingers, and you'll see that it just snips off very easily. You don't have to apply lots of pressure, and if you apply lots of pressure, it will just tend to turn mushy. This means that the rice is 90% done. So now take off the remaining 1/3 portion of the rice from water and keep it aside. Okay, now I'll show you the difference between the 90% done rice and 70% done rice. The top one is 90% done and bottom one is 70% done. You can see that the top one is a bit more thicker and lengthier than the bottom one. Now this is the drained rice. I have removed the bay leaves. Now we'll move on to step 4. Now take the marinated chicken into a large deep vessel or a handi in which we are going to make biryani. Make sure the pan you take is heavy bottomed. Arrange the chicken in such a way that each and every piece of the chicken touches the bottom of the pan. Onto this we'll add the 70% cooked rice and just spread it into a loose layer. Do not press it. Onto this we'll add a few ingredients. Here goes cilantro or coriander leaves, mint leaves, a pinch of biryani masala and a pinch of cardamom powder. I just love the flavor of cardamom powder, that is why I'm adding it, but if you don't like to add, please avoid it. Now I'll add half of the remaining fried onions. Onto this goes our 90% cooked rice. Now spread it evenly, and onto this again goes the flavoring ingredients. I have added cilantro, mint leaves, a pinch of biryani masala, a pinch of cardamom powder, some lemon juice, a little bit of saffron soaked in hot water, the remaining fried onions, a tablespoonful of desi ghee or clarified butter, because it gives a nice flavor to our biryani, and our biryani is incomplete without clarified butter. Now all the layers are ready and we are ready to cook the biryani. Okay. We are making dum biryani, and dum means cooked in steam. Basically the idea is to seal the biryani pot in such a way that no steam from it escapes out and the meat and rice are cooked really well in that steam. Usually wheat flour dough is used to seal the biryani pot, but I don't do it that way. Instead I have 4 different ways to seal the pot. The first method is aluminium foil method, in which you have to place a sheet of aluminium foil on the mouth of the dish and place the lid on it. This way the steam doesn't escape from the vessel. The second method is to seal with clean and wet cotton towel. Take a clean wet towel, place it on the mouth of the handi or biryani pot and place a lid on it. And here is the third method. If you have this type of lid, just slide it onto the biryani pot and place some heavy object on it or a dish filled with water, so that it is tight and secured and no steam escapes. And here comes the fourth and simplest one. Now this is the most easiest way, and this is what I follow. I just place a tight lid and cover the hole of the lid with a clove. I just insert a clove into the hole of the lid and I'm good to go. Now we'll move on to the fifth step, that is cooking the biryani. Now place the handi onto a tawa which is placed on high flame. Cook it on high flame for about 5 minutes. I have placed my biryani pot onto the tawa just to ensure that nothing will burn. Now turn down the flame to low medium and cook it for at least 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, just switch off the flame and do not open the lid. Just leave it like that for at least 10 to 15 minutes and then we'll open the lid. Now it's time to open the lid. Ta-da-ta-da-ta-da! Wow! What a flavor! Oh my god, it smells so great here. Can you see how nice and fluffy the rice is? They are perfectly cooked and they do not stick to each other. Can you see? So that was my special chicken dum biryani. My husband is a huge fan of this and I always love to cook it for him. Make this recipe for your family and friends this Christmas and let me know how it turned out. So here's a challenge for you guys. Let me know through the comment section below how many times I have said the word biryani in this video. If you like this video, give it a huge thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe my channel for many more such amazing recipes. Also click on the bell icon to get notified whenever I post a new recipe. Catch you guys with another yummy recipe. Until then, take care. Bye bye.